Weekly, and we are the partners of Solarian Games. I am Jason.
I'm Peter.
And today I am coming to you from a rest stop somewhere on the Jersey Turnpike. So you're going to get a little bit of background sound and some lag between us. And sorry for that, but we don't like to miss a day. We don't like to miss a week. So we're staying on time. All right. So the stories this week. First of all, Igniting the Spark, the story of Magic the Gathering. There's a new documentary out about Magic the Gathering. Next is Welcome to Night Vale. The RPG is available for pre-order. Greenhorns, a weird space RPG. Short little bit, the fact that Shadowrun First Edition has been reissued. And hey, this weekend we went to see Cat Fest. So that was pretty cool. Okay, I'll get started with the first story here, Igniting the Spark. All right, so this has been a good time for gaming documentaries lately, and this is the first time I've seen one about Magic the Gathering, so pretty great. We got a chance to watch this week. It is by Nacelle Company, so it's, I guess, I don't know how to pronounce it, you know, when you have like the Star Trek, what do you call those things? Nacelles?
Nacelles, I believe.
Nacelles. Okay. Peter, I had a chance to watch this. I don't know. I don't think you did yet. Did you?
No, I did not.
Okay. Well, I will dive into it. All right. So, the Igniting the Spark, the story of Magic the Gathering. So, you know, we've seen things done about Dungeons and Dragons and Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax and all those kind of things. But what about the next big thing that came after Dungeons and Dragons, which was Magic the Gathering? So this one, it's kind of the story of Wizards of the Coast. It's kind of the story of Magic, because, you know, they don't actually touch on D&D at all. It's just Magic, but it's so central to what Wizards of the Coast became and where their origin story is. And this one, it's kind of cool. So, you know, if anybody has been to a convention where Peter Atkinson has given a talk, he's told this story, so people kind of know the basics of where Magic came from. But it's really interesting to see it well laid out, you know, so carefully here. For those who don't know, Peter Atkinson, founder of Wizards of the Coast, he was running this little indie game company out of his basement, literally. Which, you know, there's some echoes there. Gary Gygax ran his out of his basement, and it was they had a role playing game that was, in Peter's words, critically acclaimed, and as Peter says, that means that nobody bought it. So at some fateful point, while Peter was still working at his day job at Boeing as a I'm not actually sure, but something in the middle of the world at Boeing. Along comes this guy, Richard Garfield, and he wants to see if maybe Peter's little company would publish his board game. And for those who are expecting that little board game to be Magic the Gathering, it was not. It was actually a game called Robo Rally. And Robo Rally does exist now. It's a really fun game, but if you've ever played it, it would be expensive to produce. Lots of pieces, lots of parts, all this kind of thing. Peter's little company in the basement of a Seattle area townhouse could not do that, a rented, you know, Seattle area townhouse. So he said to Garfield, could you do something cheaper? You know, maybe just some cards or something? Didn't really expect to hear back from him. The next thing you know, he did. And they are looking together literally in a parking garage at this kind of basic idea that Garfield's come up with. And Peter realizes, I think we actually have something here. And that's kind of what the story of this all is. So, you know, when it comes to documentaries about gaming, this one has a lot less drama than others. And frankly, you know, there's a lot less to talk about because at the end of the day, Magic the Gathering is a competitive card game. It doesn't inspire as many things as, say, Dungeons and Dragons does. So, you know, really all there is to talk about is how did they get big? What was it like? How did they fund this thing in the first place? What were the crazy days like when they didn't know if they would have any money to do it? what did it look like? When did it first become an actual big thing? And then how did it kind of make the move from a nerdy basement uh, hobby to something that became essentially the first esport, the first intellectual sport, and to the point of having a pro tour and everything else. So, if you love Magic the Gathering, or if you're even just interested in it, it's just an amazing story to kind of tell how it all went down. It's definitely not going to have the drama or some of the big personalities that you're going to get in the story of, say, D&D, but it's really good. You can see it on is it Amazon Prime? I think Amazon Prime has it now. So check it out. Here we go. You wrote it down. Apple TV, Amazon, Google Play, Vimeo, and YouTube. So all over the place.
Yep. And it's a full-length movie. I mean, it's 116 minutes, so that's just shy of 2 hours.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I did enjoy it. It was really good. So I would say go give it a watch.
All right. So our next story is Welcome to Night Vale. The RPG is launching. It's a pre-order now, arriving on September 9th, 2025. Night Vale, if any of you all are familiar, because some people would be familiar with this, it is actually a very beloved and very popular podcast. And here's the tour group that goes around doing it live. And it's an absurdist supernatural fiction podcast presented as a community radio broadcast from the fictional desert town of Night Vale. It blends surreal horror. It's sort of like an urban fantasy, but with a little bit of humor, a little tongue-in-cheekness to it. And his won awards, been highly acclaimed, but has been watched. It's highly acclaimed, but has also been watched. And then it follows the host of the radio show, or of this community radio show, is a character called Cecil Gershwin Palmer, and he reports on these bizarre paranormal events as if they're everyday life. Today, werewolves attacked this, whatever. And it's expanded into live tours and online recordings. So that's the podcast version of it. But now we have an RPG that they made from it, which runs off of the Renegade Games Essence D20. Yeah, right. It's got some good art. Let's see, in the game mechanics, again, D20 based, but it hopes to capture
D20
the podcast
like as in
offbeat humor,
like 5e type of collab, or 5e compatible type of D20, or what do we mean by D20?
Crap. I believe so. I think so. I don't know. I didn't look to see if it was like today modern D20 or last year's D20, but
probably something easy for people to pick up.
Yeah, that it is supposed to be a lighthearted, easy to play game. So there's what's going to come in the box. It's a box set, and it comes with a visitor's guide for players. Here, hold on, I'm going to show you the box set.
Let's look at this.
It comes with visitor's guide for players, a host guide for game masters, a 5-part mystery adventure that takes place across various areas. So like just the different places, like there's the library, there's a place called Number Station. I'm sure there's the dog park, because there's a sign that says don't go in the dog park. And then you pre-generated characters, dice, and it gives you everything you need to play the game.
That's awesome. It looks beautiful. I have just touched on the podcast a little bit myself. It's great. I don't listen to that many fiction podcasts, but it's got such a huge following, and I bet people have been really waiting for this.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's really good production values, considering you're talking about a podcast that had people that go on tour, and people come up and show up and watch actors and stuff do their thing on tour. So I can't imagine the game would be anything less than really, really well done.
I think one of the coolest things about this is because Night Vale's got such a huge audience already, and I don't expect that everybody in that audience knows what tabletop role-playing games are or plays them. So this could be a lot of people's entry into tabletop and maybe other things too.
Yes. Yeah, very, very well could be. Yeah. And then shoot, sorry, I jumped the gun.
Uh, let's
All right. I guess we can move on to the next story.
let's do Shadowrun since we're going back and forth in the stories because I know Shadowrun story and you know the Greenhorns one. So
1 second.
Shadowrun. All right. So while you're pulling that up, this is one that I actually did not know was happening. Shadowrun First Edition is actually being reprinted. So um, we're up to now on Shadowrun. What are we up to? Sixth edition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is all the original everything. They haven't changed anything. You can go to Catalyst Game Labs, and it's a hardcover re-release. You get the book and the PDF for $49.99. You're going into the far, far, far distant world of 2050. So, we're getting closer and closer to that date. And now it's not so future anymore, but it's the 1980s vision of what 2050 future would look like. So, hey, tip to everybody out there who's writing science fiction, don't set it just a few decades in the future. We're going to get there soon. Maybe add a few centuries when you do stuff. But yeah, so Shadowrun First Edition, it set the template for so many other games like this. It really set the stage for a lot of urban fantasy crossed with cyberpunk type of things. I love this game. I'm so excited to see First Edition being reprinted. Not a big story other than just the fact it exists. If you don't have it, here's your chance, and that's cool.
All right, cool. I never played Shadowrun, I don't think, but I play a lot of Cyberpunk, and I would play Shadowrun. I would give it a go.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it would be absolutely right up your alley.
All right, Greenhorns. Yep. All right, let's do Greenhorns. Greenhorns is this was I looking through all the different out there, and I could have picked a whole bunch of different ones, but this one just struck me right in the face with the art and the concept. I just had this one up. So this is a weird space adventure. Players take on the role of the president, highly evolved, flawed humanoids with bringing life into the cosmos and defending their home planet of Kor. And they're navigating dangerous times. Science fiction and with gameplay. Can't I don't think we go like schemes. Serves as the boss and I just lost Jason. All right. Well, I'm going to continue because I don't know what's going on. Everything disappeared on me. So let me see. Can you see? I don't know what the hell.
And I am back. But can you hear me? That's the big question. All right, we got to get this. This is what we got to do. Yeah. There we go. Now you can hear me, right? Okay, are we still live? Sorry about that. The internet is not universal yet.
I have no idea if they can hear us. I put a message out to ask if they could.
I mean, it says, well, it says we're live, and if people can hear us, then they hear us talking about wondering if we're live or not.
Peter's breaking up. I can hear Jason just fine.
Okay.
All right. All right. Anyway.
Hey, if we're still live, then that's awesome.
All right. Yeah, let's go. We're gonna go. All right. So anyway, it's
well, hold
again,
on.
It's
Let's
built
ask
with
let's ask the
D20.
chat. Did the chat hear everything you just said about Greenhorns? Because I didn't on my end, but if they did, we can keep going. Okay. Yeah, everyone sounds good. Sorry, Peter.
Okay.
This is how we roll. This is how we roll. We are not.
That's all right. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see. It could be on your end. It could be on mine because I got a thunderstorm rolling through here. It's really heavy right now. So who knows? Anyway, so I'll just recap this just really quick. Greenhorns is a weird space game, weird space kind of freaky game. You can tell by the artwork. The game is like the art, from what I can tell, and it's based on a D20 system, but like a simplified version, I believe, because they have something called auto hit combat. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
And then there's this,
I have a rough idea.
Offers OSR like lethal tactical play.
So, okay, I have a rough idea of what auto hit combat might be, because I've seen some systems like this, and I think, if I'm remembering right, that Kevin Borup's system does this, but I don't know if he's on right now. But in the systems I've seen, auto hit combat just basically means that you don't roll to hit, you just roll for damage. And no, sorry, you don't. Sometimes you just roll for damage, or maybe it's that the other person in the combat gets to roll to see if they can dodge it. But the point is, you don't roll to hit. So I think that's probably what's going on here.
Okay. Let's look at some of the pictures. So like, I love the art for this. This is really cool.
It's gorgeous.
Here's a couple pages from the books that I found. Here's one. Here's another. I just think it's really cool looking.
It looks like a comic book that I want to buy.
See. Right. Yeah. So the PDF has 20 pages of rules, 20 pages of guidance and GM support, and then 80 pages containing 7 ready-to-play missions and a sandbox thing called Shore League. The remaining content filled with resources and random tables and tools. Favorite thing, random tables. It also has eight uncanny classes. So like a light witch, a void magician, a force flyer, 6 modular planet layers offering 12 unique dungeon maps, mad mystic bounty hunting mini campaign, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. 12-page illustrations, 60 threats, 19 bosses. And lastly, there is a Greenhorns Essential Quick Start version. So you can download the Quick Start version and see if you like it first, and then you can buy the full version should you like it.
That's awesome.
That is Greenhorns.
Love it. All right. So as we get ready to talk about what we did this weekend.
The gaming content.
Yeah. So as we get ready to talk about what we did this weekend, you've got a thunderstorm where you are. It is coming towards me. I'm seeing the lightning. So if I get struck by lightning in the middle of this, we'll end the podcast early. But hey, first of all,
you'll die for your craft.
That's what you do. All right. So first of all, thank you, Chet. Thank you, Chet Mitten, for letting us have some photos of this weekend, because both Peter and I were having so much fun that we forgot, as usual, to take any pictures of anything. So Catfest. This is Justin Siraz of Cutthroat. Is it Cutthroat Press? Yes. Let's say yes.
Hold on.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
So anyways, he puts on some of the best stuff. We went to the last thing he did in Baltimore at the same place over at the Peabody Brewery, which was about a few months ago. And this time was a little bit more focused on the art and the artists and the comics, and that was great, but there's still some great gaming stuff. Of course, Chet was there, had all of his things on display, selling like gangbusters as he does. People love it. We saw Terrible Games was there. That's the name of the company, not a description. Always like these guys. They show up in a cool Dodge Caravan from about 1984, which I love. course, we saw Levi Combs. We saw Scott Legault from Rising Phoenix Games. Um, Hambone was there. So, you know, it just a nice little mini reunion. Bought a couple of things, and I mean, I loved it. What did you think?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. So you go to a lot of conventions and they're all very much the same, because I mean you have the same requirements, so you generally tend to do the same thing. They do something a little different here in a brewery, so it's a very cool scene. You can get beers, and they have a food truck outside with really good food, and then just a lot of really indie local artists. The one we went to about January, somewhere March, something like that. That was really cool too. So it was a lot like that.
Yeah, I usually try to pick up a lot of stuff. I was on a bit of a budget this time, but I did pick up one thing that I really love. This is from Feral Press, and it's called Ave Nox. This is a system-neutral mega dungeon of forgotten history and folly. I'm holding my phone with one hand, so I can't show it too well, but I'll try to bring up a couple of pages here. It's just beautiful layout, gorgeous art. It is two people that run it, and between the two of them, they do all the writing, all the design, all the artwork, everything. And they have just a huge amount of things. It's hard to decide, but this was the one I really wanted. So Ave Nox, maybe we'll report on it soon after we've, run some people through it. But I love that.
Yeah. They're pretty prolific, two people doing all the work that they do.
Really impressive, yeah.
So, Jason, I'm gonna show some pictures here. So, are you seeing these?
Yeah, I'm seeing them. But why don't you talk us through them? Since we got a little bit of a delay, it'd be better for you to just give us a quick talk through.
Okay. So up in the upper left, you're gonna see you have to watch the show to see these pictures. So if you're listening on a podcast, I'll describe them as best I can. Up in the upper left-hand corner, that's Justin's booth, and we were corrected. It's Severed Books, but that's Justin's booth and all the stuff that he has. That's where he runs the con from.
Sorry, Justin.
Down below is just another booth, a couple other booths. There's a Trish Forrester, bunch of comic book type stuff there. This was it was a game con, but it was also a comic book con. So it was sort of both, and there was a lot of comic book stuff there as well. So that's what you might be seeing. So I think Scott was asking, is this a gaming con or something different? Scott, yes, it was a gaming con and something different. So it was both. A lot of local artists from Baltimore there as well. And then we'll go into the next picture up. These are just different booths of people that we saw there. Down in the bottom left is where Jason bought the book that he just showed you. Feral Indie Studio.
There, see, I didn't even get that name right. So thank you.
Yeah. And then there's our boy Chet at his booth selling art. Next third tier art there. And anyway, that's a joke. He's
top tier.
But anyway,
top tier.
Yeah, he's top tier. That's just a running gag of somebody who insulted him, I think, inadvertently. I don't know, something. Anyway, so there's Chet, and then why am I blanking? Help me out, Jason.
I don't have my glasses on. I don't even know what we're looking at now. Is it Levi?
Levi.
Okay, because literally,
yeah, it's Levi. I'm sorry, Levi. My brain literally just blanked. I know your name and blanked on it. But anyway, so there's Levi. He's selling all his stuff. He always said, I love his setup. He's got a really good setup. And then there is, this is us sitting at the table. I'm actually taking a picture, so I'm not in it. But Jason's making a face. We got Scott on the one side.
I'm not making a face. That's how I normally look.
And John McGuire of 3-2-1 action on the other side. I think is that the pictures? That is all the pictures we have. Yeah. That was CatFest.
Well, we got a short one this week because, so as I said, I'm driving back right now from a good weekend in Baltimore. I actually ran a little late because there was another thing going on this weekend. There was a vintage computer repair workshop. So I spent about 8 hours today recapping a power supply and cleaning up a bunch of corrosion off of the motherboard of a Macintosh Power portable from 1980s. So that's why I'm late. But we will be on the Discord. I'll hop on the Discord while I drive, and I will not use the video so that we are all safe. And hey, we got the stories in, and so glad that people joined us tonight, even through some of the funny technical difficulties. And I promise not to get hit by lightning if I can avoid it.
All right. Well, Jason, why don't you get back on the road before the storm hits you, and we will see you all. Anybody wants to join us in the Discord.
All right.
Okay. Good night.